Hello, Leo. Pause for a moment. Something urgent is moving in your field right now. You're being pulled to this message for a reason. Something in your energy needs attention today. This is not a casual energy day. There is a shift building underneath the surface, fast. It's pressure. It is undeniable. You may feel restless, alert, or strangely pulled right now. Trust that instinct, okay? Your reading today isn't a warning, it's an intervention. Spirit is stepping directly into your path to redirect you, protect you, or accelerate you. As we dive into your cards, you'll see what force is rising. You'll see what you need to be aware of and what empowered move will keep you aligned and in your strength. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set this down right over here with Jimbo, the Lizard King, aka Mr. Lizard, right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments section right below the video. Now, as we look around the room, we see the Devil, we see the Hanged Man, and we see the Hermit. Okay? All three of these cards are a little bit isolated, right? The Hanged Man is sort of paused, feeling suspended, surrendering. Okay, the Devil, right? That goat is kind of feeling, solitary. Okay, feeling perhaps that your journey right now is a solitary one. Of course, the Hermit obviously is hermit mode. Yeah. So let's see, we've got fire, we've got some water up here, we have our air cards, we have a couple of earth cards. Okay, so it is pretty balanced. Let's talk about the Nine of Pentacles here, because this is the reward, right? This is you being a independent and self-reliant person. You're making moves, you're making things happen. You are creating. You're someone that has generated a financial or material gain that's coming in. Okay? And you've worked for this. You're trying to enjoy this comfort. You've invested in your life, and this is a return on the investment. Okay? This is, though, independence. This is your path. This is your Tao. This is your spiral road, Leo. And I think that perhaps your spiral road is in need of companionship or connection or love or art or beauty or creativity. Okay? Let love and gratitude even guide your next steps. Okay? You are a very self-reliant energy, especially with that goat, the Hanged Man, and the Hermit. Like, you're willing to do whatever it takes to get to your goals. You don't need any help. You don't need any support. You don't need a shoulder to cry on. You don't need somebody to hold your hand. You're very independent. And I wonder if you're becoming independently wealthy with the Pentacles here. Maybe, I hope so. But this is kind of like, you're a self-made person. You've heard that expression before? Nobody handed it to you. Nobody gave it to you. You earned it. Yeah. And you're going to enjoy the gains. This is the card of gain. This is progress. It's a Nine of Pentacles. This is a life. This is a successful life. This is a life where what you're getting back, what's coming in, right, is greater than what's being spent, than what's going out. The income is greater than the outgo. That's profit, right? Energetically, financially, whatever we're talking about here. So there is abundance forming in your life. that financial or that material gain is arriving. That independence is very strong and very present. And Spirit wants you to enjoy what you're creating. And I wonder if there is a need for connection. Now, when we look at these cards, we do see a whole heck of a lot of court cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 court cards. A hanged man, a hermit, and then our poor little goat, right? This is the goat. This is the greatest of all time. But you know what they say? You know, the goat's the one that climbs the spiral road up to the top of the mountain, to Big Rock Candy Mountain, right? All the way to the top. But what they say is that it's lonely at the top. I think Spirit is saying, look, your goals are coming along just real nice, right? You got to focus on other things now. You need love. You need friends. You need hobbies. You need passions, besides just the work. So we have the devil here, and this is your drive. This is your instinct. This is your power. This is the 3 human drives. Creative drive or generative drive, which I think is your primary focus. The generation, the creation. You're building something. You're leaving your mark on the world. You're creating something for future generations. You're leaving the world a better place than where you found it. You're putting your dent on the universe. Shout out to Chris Reck. You're leaving behind legacy. You're creating something long term. Like, that's the generative drive. But sometimes that generative drive comes at a cost. The cost may be your personal life. You know? Your personal fulfillment. Because the generative drive or the creative drive is something beyond ego. Okay? And so we don't want to get to the top of that mountain and then kind of realize that I should have brought people with me. Or I should have made more friends along the way. Or I should have made more connections. Or I should have had more fun. You know? The other drive is the pleasure drive. Of course, we have the sovereign drive too, which the sovereign drive basically gets to protect all of this that we're building, right? It gets to protect that, just the engine of the car. That's what the devil is, the engine of the car, see? So I think you have your creative drive or your generative drive. You are generating an income. You are generating something for the generations, you know. And you have your sovereignty here with this fiery fire energy. What we need now is the pursuit of the pleasure drive. Well, that's a really good problem to have, right? Spirit's coming in saying, "Hey, you just need to have more fun. You gotta think about your own gratification sometimes." Especially with the hanged man. The hanged man is saying that you have sacrificed a lot for the goals that you have, the very practical goals, whether these are financial or health goals or the intergenerational, long-term kind of life stability goals, right? The legacy and all, whatever it is. Maybe you're building a business. Maybe you're creating generational wealth. Maybe this is about your art or something like this. You know, it could be anything. But this is succeeding at the expense of other things. Does that make sense? And that's why the hanged man is here. That's why the hermit is here. And that's why the devil is here, because look, you're getting to the top. Let's say this is a business. You're getting to the top of the industry. You are the GOAT, the greatest of all time. It's coming at a cost. And that cost is your personal relationships. Okay? So now your life force is here. This engine of the car is saying, "Hey, I'm waking up to new desires now." Spirit's kind of stepping in here, and this is like an intervention. Spirit's coming in and saying, "Hey, you need more pleasure in your life. You know? You need to have more fun. You need to rest, relax, and do some self-care. You need to have a bowl of ice cream and a burrito and a bubble bath." And you're saying, "No, I don't." But I think we need to take that advice. Your life force is now asking you for some R&R. Yeah. Your desire right now, your pleasure drive is trying to drive the car a little bit. And your sovereign drive needs to allow that. You've worked hard, you've accomplished a lot, now enjoy it. Share it with other people, right? That's really the Nine of Pentacles. Because the Nine of Pentacles in the other packs just shows one person wearing some nice clothes, sauntering around their garden alone. That's what the Nine of Pentacles shows. And so it's implied that you got people, you got your pets, your plants, where are the people? Okay. We see a lot of people here. So I feel like there's a lot of people that want to get to know you. There's a lot of people that just want to spend time with you. They're not asking you for money. They're not asking you for favors. They just want to hang out with you and get to know you. You know? And so I feel that Spirit's intervening here to say, look, it's time for you to focus on your interpersonal relationships and not feel like you have to sacrifice everything and make this spiral road a long, lonely road. Okay? But that's kind of shows your power too, because you don't need anybody to hold your hand. You know? But now we've got to be honest about what we want. What does your goat want? Your goat needs a little bit of perfumed oil and garlands of flowers and like wants to lay in the grass and like blow on the dandelions and, you know, just wants to have a good time and feel the rewards. You've earned your repose. Okay. However, you've got this Eight of Swords underneath here. This inability for your mind to stop planning. Your mind is always going. You're a super thinker. And you overthink a little bit. And you overplan. You're someone with like a lot of good ideas. Your mind is always working, right? I bet sometimes it's even hard to sleep at night because you got so many ideas. You got so many, like the complexity, like write it down or something, you know. You've got to be able to discharge some of this energy so that you can relax. Okay? Because this is too many inputs, too many trains of thought all going at once. Your mind is like Grand Central Station. We got to calm that down, you know. Your mind is too loud. We got to breathe. We got body awareness. Breathe into the body. Do some belly breathing. Okay? Your mind is always going. And that's a gift. It really is a gift, right? But I think that it gets you stuck in your head sometimes to where we don't see everything that's around us. That's like all the good, all the beauty, all the people, everything that's around you that just wants to love you. Yeah. So I feel like this is too much noise. Reduce that noise. And then we can really get a sense of like this. See, this is too much thought. Can't hear the heart. And I think with this reading, the only heart energy we have here is at the end. The Knight of Cups is you listening to your heart and letting your heart guide you. Okay? And letting that kind of, that desire guide you now. And it doesn't mean that it's romance. It doesn't mean that it's even friendships. It doesn't mean that it's family now, but that's kind of the cliched dichotomy, right? You got career, you got family. Which one? Yeah. Well, in this case, you would have been all career. Now it's time, hey, don't forget about this other stuff you wanted. Okay? Now's the time in your life where you can do these other things. When you say, I always wanted to play the drums. Now's the time. I've always wanted to learn how to scuba dive. Now's the time. I've always wanted to just like, you know, lay on the windowsill thing and read a book. Now's the time. Okay? Now's the time to start directing some of our energy over to that. Yeah. We got to reduce a little bit of that noise. And that noise, this is that overthinking noise that it's always like our mind is consumed by this work that we're doing. And you're always thinking of the business, let's say, right? I get accused of that too quite a bit. Always thinking of the business. Sometimes we just need to chill with that. Sometimes it's just let's put that down. Let's stop thinking. Let's stop worrying and ruminating. We're just looping back in on the same things. Like we just keep scrolling the same document or looking at the same metrics or the same numbers or reading the same email again or thinking about the same problems and going over the same plan again and again. All that can just be set aside. It doesn't mean that you're spending less time running the business. It just means you're spending less time thinking about running the business. And you're just running it and then doing other stuff. But sometimes it's hard to pull your mind away from that in order to let your heart sort of say, hey, I want to learn how to build a fire with 2 sticks or something, Which brings us to our Queen of Pentacles, practical wisdom, care, okay? Caring for your home, for your body, for your routines, This is someone who's sitting pretty. This is somebody that's sitting in their life and just thinking, this is good. I kind of see this person sitting on a throne, a material throne, right? But is relaxing, enjoying the fruits of their labor. They do have their pets and plants and people around them. They feel like they've got the whole world in their hands. I've achieved the whole world. We've been on a long and winding road, right? That spiral road back there, that's the 9 of Pentacles. You've been on that spiral road, and you've achieved so much. This is the card that's telling you to feel it, to allow yourself to be nourished, to enjoy. Really, it's kind of like you've built this amazing business. You've made a bunch of money. You've got this really nice sofa, the money green leather sofa, right? You never sit in it. You have this big kitchen full of food. You're never in there cooking. You got a really soft bed, really feather pillow or whatever. You're never lying down relaxing. You got this big TV in your theater room or something. You're never watching a movie. That sort of thing, anyway. And yes, this is about those material goods, enjoying the material success. Okay. And again, it's kind of it's the home, it's the body, it's that kind of enjoyment. Grounding yourself. The care that you put into everything else is extraordinary. Put that same care into you. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, creatively. Yeah, financially, physically, financially, right? That's real power. That's real success. Because I feel like right now you don't have to just grind. Maybe you still have to grind, but you don't have to grind yourself into a pulp, into dust either. You keep doing what you're doing, you keep working hard, yeah. Not any harder than you need to, work smarter. And doing the hard work is one thing, but then when you're going home and instead of spending time with your dog and your family or whatever, you're ruminating about the business. That's what we have to stop. Okay? So this, I think, is really an important factor in all of this. And we also have our Queen of Swords. This is boundaries, truth, discernment. This is a very wise energy. Now, I should say all the court cards together as a group indicate people, a lot of people around you, that the Hermit may not really be paying attention to. And even the Queen here is got her back to them, okay? And the Hanged Man may be, also feeling isolated. And the Goat, of course, has those blinders on. But individually, the court cards represent a particular quality of your personality, of your soul, your aura. Okay? So the Queen of Swords is clarity. You're a very wise and very discerning person. You have the ability to step back from life and see the big picture and see what's really important to you. Even though sometimes we get stuck in our heads about stuff. Thinking, asking questions, going over the same documents and, looping back in on the same issues or the same processes. This is your ability to step back and say, whoa, okay, I've been in my head too much. I've got to just get in my body. I got to get connected to my people. I got to get connected to my environment. When's the last time you hugged a tree? Clean the house, something that's physical. Just go out and just step on the grass with your bare feet. I don't know, we can't do it now. It's going to be frozen, but, do something like that, right? Set some boundaries with yourself. Let's say, okay, 5 o'clock, I'm not on the computer. 5 o'clock, I'm not doing the emails or something, You got to have those kind of boundaries with no apologies. And even boundaries that say, hey, today's a self-care day. I'm not answering work calls today. Nope, it's Sunday, I'm out, or whatever day. Clarity and boundaries is an act of self-respect. You got to stay sharp. You got to make good decisions. You got to be discerning. You need that perspective. Hey, I know what's important in life. So I've got to make a better schedule. Doesn't mean you have to choose, business or family. No. It's just about making the right kind of choices and scheduling your time and effort and energy in the right way so that you can do all of it. So that the Queen of Pentacles can really be holding the entire world and saying, I have wholeness. I have all this stuff. I have a successful business. I have financial stability, but I also have a warm and loving home. I have warm and loving people in my life. The Queen of Pentacles has everything she wants. It's not just, I've got money. No, because then that can be empty feeling, right? We don't want to feel empty. So we have the Queen of Swords, and then we have a Knight of Swords. So we have this kind of this relaxing sort of discernment, this stepping back and getting the bigger picture. Then we need to step into leadership. Then going forward, we need authority. We need our own sense of direction. We've got to be strategic. You've got to lead with logic and structure. Make decisions firmly and professionally. Cut out distractions. Cut out the noise. Stay focused. And then you can do everything that you want. Okay? Ask yourself, how many times am I refreshing the website and getting the same information again? And you just refresh it, same thing. Refresh it, same thing. How many times do I think about the same issue and get the same answer? And how much time does that waste? Cut out distractions. Be clear, be intelligent. The mind is serving the truth now. You're thinking like a leader. And this is someone who is looking at the future and kind of coming up with a better strategy for the future. Okay? Just like the queens are sort of looking at the past and thinking, okay, the strategy of the past worked because I've created some success. I have achievements here. There needs to be a new strategy for the future. The old strategy worked up to a point. Now we need a new strategy going forward. Now I want you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. All right, these readings are totally free. Your general energy is this Knight of Wands. This is that sovereign drive. This is someone who is a leader, who not only has the strategy for the future, but is now taking action, is acting as that authoritative leader, right? So you have your Knight of Swords formulating the strategy for the future, and you have your Knight of Wands who is leading, confidently leading, focusing that fire and channeling it toward the goal, the life that you truly want. It's that sovereignty, okay? That sovereign drive. The mind kind of says, hey, I got some ideas. The sovereign drive, your inner authority, your leadership, this is an Aries energy, by the way. This type of energy is what actually gets to direct the life force. And I think that it's aligning to a new strategy, a new plan. You're focusing that fire. You're moving like someone who knows where they're going. You're getting fired up. You okay? Authority emerges when your purpose is clear and well-defined, and there's no hesitation. You're moving with purpose. Okay? And I find you're a very strong-willed person, and you are a visionary. And you are very independent. You don't need anybody's help. You don't need anybody's permission. You're probably even a little annoyed with this reading. I don't need Spirit to come in and tell me to enjoy myself. You know, you don't want people to tell you what to do, and I get it. You're a very strong-willed person. But I think you have a tendency to be too self-sacrificing. Hanged man. This is you. I don't think in this case, to start with, this isn't you sacrificing for your relationships. I think that this begins as you sacrificing the relationships. Right now, what we need to do is we need to surrender to what our heart really, really wants right now in terms of our connections with people, your connection to your environment, your connection to your body, because this position is the position of your relationships, not just with people, but how you relate to the world itself, how you relate to your body, how you relate to your mind, your heart, how you relate to your house and your money, how you relate to your pets, your plants, and your people. And I think that at first this card is saying that like you haven't really been. But now I feel like there's a pause for a new perspective. Okay? You're looking at things from a different angle now, one where you want things to slow down. Okay? You want to flow toward those things that you really truly desire and let yourself. This is somebody who's very relaxed, you know. This is someone in the bubble bath, to be honest with you. This is somebody that is stretched at their ease now. Not fighting for anything. Not striving, not struggling, not trying to climb the spiral road, is letting ourselves flow toward those soul desires. I think that you've sacrificed your personal needs. I think you've sacrificed maybe your physical health for the sake of these goals. You've sacrificed relationships. You've sacrificed time, effort, energy, money, and space for the sake of what you're doing. You put in blood, sweat, and tears to get to those goals. And that is fantastic and amazing and marvelous. Okay. And now, I think it's time for you to reprioritize those things. Direct your time, effort, energy, money, and space to other things that will reward your soul, that will uplift you. All of it's kind of like, you know, you're really focused on your physical health. You're going to the gym every day, you're eating right, so you sacrifice a lot of time spent with friends doing other things. Now it's time for you to kind of focus on that. And it's kind of, you've sacrificed ice cream for a long time. Now it's time for you to enjoy some. A very simple and silly example, but it illustrates the point. Yeah. Okay, hermit. Obviously, this is some solitude. This is some insight that you're getting. I think that you're really being told right now by Spirit to take a step back from everything and get in touch with your inner light, your inner guidance, that inner wisdom. We need introspection because we need clarity. Your inner voice is trying to tell you something. So we're trying to quiet down the noise so that we can feel the heart, we can hear the heart. Because your heart is going to reveal a major direction for you. And at first, that solitude is necessary for you to get that clarity, to know what it is that your heart really wants you to do now. And I think the realization is that we've been in a little too much hermit mode, because the hermit is kind of invisible to everybody else. Or as rough as it sounds, checked out. Because you're so immersed in what you're doing over here that you're just not connecting with people. People feel a distance between you. And now your heart wants to close that distance. Okay? And that, of course, is our Knight of Cups. The heart wants a new future. The Queen is very satisfied with the 9 of Pentacles, right? The Knight of Cups would be very satisfied with a 9 of Cups. That's real happiness and joy and fulfillment. This is physical, financial joy and fulfillment and success and prosperity and gain. Okay? And so what we're looking for now, you see, the Knights are always looking at the future, remember? This is the Knight of Cups that's looking at the 10 of Cups. Looking at my ideal for a meaningful, fulfilling, connected, loving, enriched, satisfied life. And that's what we want to achieve. The Knight of Pentacles would have been looking at a 10 of Pentacles. The Queen now is kind of that future version of us looking at the past and thinking, okay, I got that. So what the Knight is looking at, the Queen is receiving. The Queen is saying, okay, we did it, here we are. So now the Knight of Cups is looking and saying, okay, well now I want other goals. Now I have other goals in mind. I think this is a shift in the type of goal that you're after now. And that type of goal may not be the same as it was. It doesn't mean that you have to abandon the success or this kind of, ambition or whatever you want to call it. I think we're augmenting it. I think we're choosing a new emotional direction. We're having this vision of how our life can grow from here. So we're not replacing one with the other. We're not going to replace the pentacles with the cups. We're trying to fill up the pentacles with the water. Otherwise, the pentacles are empty shells, you see. So we're trying to add the water to it. Because that creates, right, earth and water together. It could create mud, but it could also create a very fertile garden, the Empress energy, right? The true big rock candy mountain. So follow that heart. Let that heartfelt inspiration guide you. Express your heart, follow your heart, let your heart lead you. It's going to lead you toward meaning. It's going to lead you on the rest of the journey. The next phase, at least, of your spiral road has to be led by the heart. Now let's look at the mystery card. Oh, I hope it's the Empress. Oh, I really do hope. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see. Well, it's a Three of Cups. That's good too. The Three of Cups is celebration. The Three of Cups is not just you feeling good about what you accomplished. It's about you sharing in your success, sharing the abundance with other people. There's a harvest, and we're sharing that harvest with the people in our lives. Otherwise, the harvest is just here. You're sitting at the table by yourself, celebrating all this abundance. Yeah, that's good, you know. But this is showing that your heart is truly connected. This is warm, and this is social. This is community. This is friendship. You're celebrating your success, and you're sharing that with your sort of inner circle of people. Yeah. Joy that is shared is multiplied joy. Enjoy the people that are around you. Your community is there. Whether it's friends, family, coworkers, or you're out here trying to form a community now. You're saying, I want to be part of something. I want to be part of a community. I want to share this with somebody. Okay? This is beautiful. Now we're going to do an extended reading as well. Click on the link in the corner. There's a link down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.